Okay, so we're live this morning. Good morning, everybody. Let me just get the chat popped out here. And all right. So a bit of controversy. I did type up an article on my blogger the other day, and hey, what's up, man? What's going on? So on my blogger, I posted about my thoughts about Android and this idea of a top notch, and totally get where people are coming from on this. It's kind of like a mixed thing. It's a mixed side. So there's people that's for it. There's people that's against it, and where are we going with this? Like, how are people looking at this? Are they looking at it like Android trying to copy Apple? Um, and we can say a lot of things regarding that. We can say that, well, the essential phone was actually first with the little camera notch on the top, and that kind of means that basically Android did it first, and possibly, but at the same time too, are we wanting something like this? Hey, what's going on, J Rod? Hello, how you doing today? Um, that's the thing that's in question. That's one of the things that I think like it's just so mixed on. Some people are okay with it, some people aren't. Chad, what's going on, man? People just really just starting to kind of express because it is known. And see, I didn't even believe it at first. I think like one of my older live streams, it was said that the top notch was coming to Android, and I did not believe it. I was like, nah, that's probably just rumors. And what's the top for today? Well, I mean, we're talking about several things. Right now, we're really discussing the top notch coming to Android, basically. The idea that they're pushing hard for a near bezel-less devices. So for sensors and cameras to live, there's going to be a top notch on most Android phones going in the future. And this may be something that like LG and them are going to start pushing. But if so, I mean, like, how do you guys feel about it? I'm not against Android, but I want Android to be around the consumer so it can benefit for the consumer base of lovers. Yeah. I mean, sometimes things change, and sometimes at first, we're all reluctant to adopt it, and then I don't know, maybe it might be better. Maybe that's an idea that we're like every smartphone's gonna go towards. Um, Still, it's gonna be new. I'm not sure if it's gonna be something that I'm gonna like fully embrace right up front. At least for me, bezels having a near bezel-less display has never been something that I've been wanting on a smartphone for so long. It's not something that I feel like that I need to have. Bezel-less displays are cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, one of the first to ever attempt it, which was nearly close, it was 75% bezel-less, was the Aquos Crystal that I owned on Boost Mobile. It was the closest I ever gotten to a non no bezel display, and it did look cool. It really did. I mean, besides the fact that the camera was in the bottom chin, which was the only part that had a bezel, um, but at the same time too, having a basically a grip of glass that has images displayed all over it could be kind of confusing. It could be hard. I mean, like, some people have done videos to express like how this is, not the best idea. The fact that where would you place your hands if you're gaming and all those other things comes into play. And I'm sure that they're going to have some sort of workaround for that, maybe like a smart touch system implemented where it will know if you're holding the phone just to hold the phone to watch something, or if you're actually touching the screen to register an action. I'm sure that those things will be implemented as this technology kind of moves forward. But at the same time, too, I feel like that the phones are going to have like too much in common, which is one of the things that, I was really liking about Android was that you could have various different devices, and um, the uh, the look, the build was always different. They were like never exactly the same. I mean, some of them copied off each other, but at the end of the day, you can still get something pretty much different. And I'm just kind of like, my fear is that if it's all gonna look the same, like the only thing that's gonna really separate the devices and how they look is just the logo that's on them to let you know which manufacturer built them. That's my thing. What do you guys think about it? Like, how do you guys feel that it's gonna go to that point? Are you guys a little bit leery about it? Are you guys excited for it? Do you think that the design of it is something that's ideal for you, or do you think it's something that you're gonna think is just too bland, maybe not enough excitement behind it? But this is really crazy, though. I mean, it's just one of those things that I didn't expect to happen, um, and it looks like it is. So I got to eat my words on it. I mean, like we're right on that dawn of everything. I mean, with all these new announcements at Mobile World Congress and everyone just kind of going off about different things. Google just kind of making a little statement about that, and then of course we're already on the eve of well, we're not really on the eve. We got a couple of months till, but we're right around that point where um, they're gonna have that whole what's it, Google I/O. See, I don't mind, but they need. I don't mind, but they need you quit messing with root. I don't really understand the purpose of the notch. Well, Joseph, the purpose of the notch, and from what I was able to gather up, just kind of just researching the whole thing, is they're really trying to incorporate a like display that has no bezels. So nothing on the top, bottom, left, right. But I mean, the top has to have something because you have your proximity sensor, you have your front-facing camera, you have your speaker receiver for phone calls. So they're going to put a notch. Maybe it's not going to be exactly identical to the iPhone 10. Maybe it'd be something in the lines of, kind of like in between the essential phone and the iPhone 10. But the ongoing 9.0 should have a setting that all Android people like, as far as the natural colors and options to tweak. Background app settings. Yeah, the notch is a terrible implementation of phones. I hate the bezel screens. What I've always wanted to see is more of a foldable phone. Gotcha. No problem, Joseph. No problem. Um, Foldable phones is another thing too. Foldable phones, I mean, obviously, the technology is kind of going that way. I think what Samsung has patents on a foldable display. So, it's we're tinkering with things. I think the reason why all these things are happening too is because the innovation of smartphones has like literally came to a near stop in the last 3-4 years. We haven't really seen anything um, that was just overly done. We haven't seen that in a long time. So for the fact that now foldable displays, foldable devices, because the Axon M, believe it or not, it's not the first to ever do that. Or what they did, there was the Kyocera Echo was the first one that was a foldable device. In a context that it unfolded into a mini tablet, which is what the Axon M did. So thanks for explaining. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so innovation has literally been slowed down in the last 4 years. I mean, we really haven't had anything that's too wow or too something to get overly excited for, or to be in shock and awe for the idea. And because of that, it now foldable displays, near bezel-less displays, it seems like that's what they're targeting towards, just to kind of remain innovative. I'm not sure about foldable phones. It just seems too huge. I mean, yeah, this depends on how they're going to implement this whole foldable idea. If it's going to be like a candy bar style foldable, like kind of like what the schematics of Samsung released in their patents and what that would be, or if it's going to be something like the Axon M. Foldable phones are dumb. I think they could work, foldable phones. I really do. It just depends on, like I said, it just depends on how it's built, like the construction of it. I mean, would it be weird, and would you own one, hypothetically speaking, if they ever built a smartphone that the screen was flexible enough that you can roll it into something like this and stick it in your pocket, which would then make it where it's like, you know. At the same time, is OEMs like Samsung needs to update their phones every month and a half. Yeah, um, we're we're gonna touch base with actually that towards the end here, but I don't want to stay on the whole notch thing or whatever because I mean it's still too soon to see exactly like what they're gonna do. I know like maybe at Google I/O they're gonna show exactly what they mean as far as the notch and the implementations from other Android manufacturers to do this. Well, they would probably not crack as much. Yeah, um, for that screen, yeah. Oh, I have the sniffles this morning. I hate this. All right, let's move on real quick. So I do have another device coming in. I mentioned this on Instagram last night when I went live on Instagram, and that's the fact that the HTC One A9 from Boost Mobile is actually on sale on shopsaledeals.com. Now it's weird because I decided to get one. So, it was one device that I wanted to get back then when it originally hit Boost Mobile. So it wasn't even new then when it came to Boost Mobile, but this device basically is now on sale for $99.99, so $100. Well, what's weird is that the opal and silver is $99. The carbon black is $129.99. I'd really love to see Samsung concentrate on their software and updates. Nothing new there. The direction smartphones are going is ridiculous. What's my Instagram? So I'll get in the description so you guys can find my Instagram. But it's just the Ayotito. That's the open one where you don't have to request to follow me on there. That one's just basically like open for everybody. So I'll stream on there. I want to say stream on there. If I scream, that's bad. That'll blow you guys' eardrums out. I don't want to do that to you guys. But I'll stream on there from time to time, and then I'll link my other one for you guys. But yeah, so I decided to pick it up, and this is kind of weird because on the website, when you read the specs for it, it says it has Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow, but I believe the A9 got Nougat. I'm not sure. I may be wrong. RJ would know. He had the phone. So the implementation of the notch is to have the camera and all the sensors. Yeah, little second speaker. Yeah, exactly. It is a great phone still. I miss using mine. Battery sucks though. Yeah, that's why I hear a lot of like, the battery is the only major kill for that phone. It's just the battery. However, I don't consider myself a power user on Android anymore, especially, on my day to day. So it's, I don't know. We'll see how it works because I'll have time to play with the battery and whatnot, kind of see how that works out for me. But I should get it within a couple of days. I'm not gonna do an unboxing because there's like so many of them on YouTube. But I'll probably things that I like about the phone. I'll probably make a video regarding that. Yes, it has it. Battery life is a little better since the upgrade. Okay, well that's good news. That's good news. The battery life got a little better with the Nougat update. But then I did get Nougat. The update was available as soon as I turned it on. Oh, cool. That's great. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it because I haven't owned an HTC device in a while. I think the last one that I had was the Desire 601 on Virginmobile. That was like the last one that I had. That was HTC. I haven't had any since. Samsung sucks on updates. Samsung needs to update their devices. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of shocked when they gave the Galaxy J7 2015 on Boost Mobile, when they gave that one Nougat, and they updated the UI as well. So I was kind of surprised they did that. Because normally they don't, especially if you look at an older device like that. Like they had the J7 Perks out already, and the J7 Perks already ran Nougat and it ran Grace UI, and so I was very shocked when they did that. I mean, I seen Jay Will's video where they updated the J7 2015 on T-Mobile, and I was like, oh, I wonder if Boost Mobile's ever going to get that. And long and behold, I got a software update, and then I posted that video showing you guys that I got an update. Yeah, the J7 2015 for Boost Mobile, the white one, it got Nougat. Let's see if I get some emojis up right now. I don't know why that kind of slowed the computer down for a second, but it did. All right. So the major topic of this broadcast that I wanted to kind of talk with you guys about is older Android devices running the latest software. And I talked about this a little bit on Instagram. It was like a couple weeks ago. And on top of that, I just seen a video this morning posted by XDA. All these manufacturers copying each other, no matter if it's a Chinese phone or Apple, Samsung. Yeah. Yeah, I have a J7 right now. I haven't updated it yet because I haven't rooted it yet. Oh, because you haven't rooted it yet? The J7 doesn't need root for Nougat. It's an actual software update from Samsung. So you wouldn't need root to update it. I'm not sure why the HTC One A9 isn't sold on Boost Mobile site or in stores. Yeah, I know, that's kind of crazy. Who knows? Who knows why? Maybe it's just like, I don't know, decision by Sprint Boost Mobile to be sold third party. I'm not sure why. But anyways, I seen the video by XDA. It brought back a really gorgeous and solid device. I don't know if you guys remember how gorgeous this device was when it came out, but the Nexus 4, when it first came out, DJ, what's up? And so the guy was reviewing the Nexus 4 is kind of like, just reminiscent of the device. And then he ends up rooting it, installing twerp, unlocked the bootloader, and he flashed is it 8.0.1 or 8.1? I'm not sure. 8.1.0, one of the two. But it is the latest version of Oreo, and he flashed it onto the phone, started using it, and it kind of goes with my Blogger post that I posted yesterday on Blogger, talking about the older devices being able to run the current, some of them able to run the current version of Android, and OEMs' excuses on why they don't update the phones, and which could be furthest from the truth, because it is known that we can do this. I mean, if at home, what I like to call in the laboratory developers can take the operating system of Oreo and be able to port those over to 3-year-old, 4-year-old devices, and they run flawlessly. I mean, of course, when the first couple of versions of the ROM comes out, maybe there's a few hiccups here and there, like maybe the rear camera doesn't work or the front-facing camera doesn't work. But as they continue to develop the ROM, eventually it comes to a point where it's no longer beta and it's actually, it's fully baked and ready for you guys to use. And so it's always one of those things where it's like, if these developers can do that, you have your own software development team at your own company. What excuse do they have not being able to do this? If an average Joe can sit at home on his spare time and continue to develop this ROM and then put it out there for everyone to flash on their smartphones, it's ridiculous and crazy. But then it also goes into the whole cycle of it's all about money. Android is open source, so like LG, Samsung, and all of them, they can't make money on software updates. So they can't give you a software update and say to download and install, you must pay $5.99 to download and install this version. Like, they can't do it. It's open source. It's not, for sale. So the only other way they can sell the new update is to build hardware with the new update. So that's what they do is, and plus they make a lot more money. Instead of charging, like $5.99 for a software update, they can charge you $79.99 for a new piece of phone that's, budget, all the way up to, $300-$400 for a mid-ranger. I think it's great seeing old phones being updated with new software. Yes, a lot of people don't like updates though. Say that they mess up their phones. I mean, yeah, generally speaking, a lot of people get hit with the fact that when they update their phones, there's always some sort of quirk that happens. But it also depends too, like how people are applying these updates. Like, what are they doing? How much space do they have for this? I mean, I hear people like how they install it. I mean, me personally, um, when there is a software update and it successfully completes and it boots back up, and I know that it boots up, then I'll basically reboot back into stock recovery and just wipe cache and everything, and then have it reboot again. The only reason why I do that is just to to give it a fresh boot without a lot of cache buildup, and so that's what I do. I mean, that's my thing. And then by doing that all the time, every time there's a software update on my phones, I rarely have any issues at all as far as like any, bugginess to it, unless it's something that's like spread wide, where it's a known bug that everyone's facing with the software update, and it's something that's beyond, what I can do to kind of lessen the fact. Let's see. I did it as a hobby. Cool. I got no problem donating to a developer. Pretty soon, it's going to be me. Yeah, and that's the reason why we have all these developers. That's the reason why these developers are here, is because they're here because the OEMs won't do their job. They would rather take a different route that's all about money rather than updating something they have. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the sad thing is that the hamster wheel is what I like to call it, is always in full effect. It's always rolling. It's always moving, and it's really sad that it has to come to that point. There are people who buy smartphones that generally don't need to have the latest one that comes out. And by doing so, they want to stick with the phone for another couple of years. But then they got to look and see, like, a new feature that's built into the latest version of Android that would benefit them. Like, say, it does better with battery, or it has better RAM management. And of course, they're going to want that. They're going to want their phone to run, top performance. But there's no software update for their immediate hardware that they have and that they love. So it's like, that's why we have these developers, to help keep your phone running top notch, and no pun intended, and basically just have it go where you can enjoy all the new benefits of Android on your hardware that's maybe 1 or 2 years old. All these manufacturers will sit there and lie to the consumers, update to the latest Android. I prefer the OEMs do the updates. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, it's not always going to be near perfect when it comes to, at-home developers creating custom ROM or your Android device. Some of them are really good. I don't know if some of the ones that I remember who were developing are still around, because I know there's a new generation of developers that come through. But in the older days, like in the way, way older days, like I'm talking about the days of Froyo, Gingerbread, and Ice Cream Sandwich, we had some really good developers back then. And they did a heck of a job. Let's see. You got a Stylo 3? How's that working out for you? What's best phone on Android? There will never be a best phone on Android, because when you think you have one and you think you have one that's pretty solid, 2, 3 months later, another one comes out and knocks it off its pedestal. There's no such thing as the best phone on Android. But for you, the best phone for Android for you is the one that you're completely content and satisfied with. Not me, OEM suck. I paid 150 for it last year. Oh, it was very good. Yeah. I still have a Stylo 3 in my possession. I stopped using it after some time now. I got the LG X Charge, used it for some time now too. And then I ended up getting a Moto E4 Plus, just because the battery life on it was better than the LG X Charge, in my opinion. And I'm using that now. Now I'm about to switch over to the HTC One A9 as soon as it arrives in the next couple days. Gonna upgrade to the Galaxy S8 later. Yeah. Did it work good? Which one? The Stylo 3? Stylo 3 worked great for me. I liked how it was. You know. Are any of you guys, for those people that have Boost Mobile, are you guys going to be shooting for the Galaxy S9? Root Junkie rules? Yeah. Is Boost getting any new phones? Well, I mean, yeah, of course. They'll be getting some new phones. If there's any that I know of, none that I know of right now. Um, for that one, it really depends though. It depends on who's developing the custom ROM for a particular phone that I have. If their track record of development hasn't all been that great, like if they develop custom ROMs, but their custom ROMs are half baked and they never go any further to develop that ROM to be at its top peak, then I will go with the OEM if the OEM has the update. It just depends really. What's the difference between iPhone and Android? The type of operating systems that they are. iOS is completely different. Even though they are starting to look very similar, it still handles processes a little bit differently. And the fact that with iPhones is everything is in house with them. So under Apple, everything is in house, hardware, software, it's in house. Android is open source, and therefore there's different manufacturers that build hardware that house Android, and then they're allowed to put their own spin on it, so skins and stuff like that to make the phone look the way that they want it to look. So that's the difference between the two. But they basically do the same thing. No, Samsung Galaxy S9 for me. Keep y'all posted. Okay. At the 23 gigabyte limit, does Boost Mobile service slow down badly in your area? No, it doesn't. I think that's the thing. It's like I'm always explaining this, and I'm explaining this to other people too as well. Yeah, after 23 gigabytes, you don't really experience anything. The only time you'll experience slowdown is a network congestion, and it has to be a congested time. Like, say you pass 23 gigabytes and you're at an event for New Year's, so there's a lot of people in the same area running off the same towers from Boost Mobile, then you'll be deprioritized. Your speeds will be slowed down at that moment because the network is congested. But just because you pass 23 gigabytes, if the area that you're in, if none of the towers are ever congested by Boost Mobile customers and you've passed 23 gigabytes, they're not going to slow you down. So you're gonna get an S7. S7 is still a pretty good device. You reserved your Galaxy S9 Plus. Yeah, your S9 Plus, is that one unlocked, or is that one for a particular carrier? You're gonna switch from your grandfather plan to that 20 gigabyte mobile hotspot. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go for that, I believe that from what we're told, that is a limited offer. So if you get it now, it may not be available months from now, but who knows? I mean, Sprint and Boost Mobile's been saying shit like that for some time, and then when they see that enough people like it and love it, they end up keeping it around. But yeah, it's really not bad though. I mean, you're getting more than double the mobile hotspot allotment, and unless you're using something like Foxfi, if you're using something like Foxfi for mobile hotspot and you have like the grandfathered unlimited plan, then you should have no cap. Just got the ZTE Axon 7 Mini, feels sluggish. Paid 190 with tax. Whoa. I heard differently about that phone, so I'm kind of surprised to see that you're experiencing some slowdown and some lag. Boost Mobile exclusive, Walmart, only 6 gigabytes monthly plan. Does this plan have the 23 gigabyte threshold? I believe that one does, but it's not in the same way though, because you only have like 6 gigabytes of like what LTE, and then with that, you're already slowed down, so you actually have throttling. So then let me recorrect myself. That would be no. If the S9 eventually goes on sale for $499 on Boost Mobile like the SA, I think people should jump on it. Yeah, I think so. I never tried it with the LG X Charge. It was like for mobile hotspot, I really don't use it. Like, as crazy as that sounds, I don't use it on my phones. I mean, I'll use it for another device to connect to it if I need to on the out and about, but Like at home, I have home Wi-Fi, so I don't use my mobile hotspot for anything. Like my Switch or my Nexus player, I don't use on there. Fox Fi should, yeah. It's unlocked. Dope. Well, let's know how that runs. I'm more intrigued about the cameras on the S9 more than anything else. Just the idea that they actually successfully built a motorized rear camera that can switch aperture rating between, was it 2.4 and 1.5? You can manually switch that over, so you can either get a sharper picture at 2.4 aperture rating, or you can get more low light shots with the 1.5 aperture rating. So I mean that's to me is pretty cool. From what I've taken from everything that people are talking about the Galaxy S9, I think that's the one thing that I think is pretty cool. I'll try Foxfire later. My hotspot plan is almost up for this month. Yeah. Foxfire is supposed to be able to bypass stuff like that. So you're actually using like your regular data for your mobile hotspot rather than the allotted amount. And then there's a lot of Sprint news I thought was kind of funny. I don't know if you guys read it, that Sprint let go of 10 of their, I think, regional presidents. So they cut up the market and they fragmented everything so that way they can manage things, I guess, easier, or have people manage the different markets for Sprint. Now they're kind of going backwards away from that. Stereo speakers on the S9 is a great move. Yeah, it is. It is better sound quality. But even then, too, like Sprint doing that and getting rid of those regional market presidents at the same time, too, they're also looking to basically have full VoLTE rolled out by the end of this year, and then their 5G to launch in early 2019. So Sprint slowly making strides. Yes, I updated it. It started to feel faster than yesterday, at least. If it keeps me like, I'm going to take it back and get your Moto G5 Plus or get an E4 to save money. Yeah. I have the Foxfi. Was that if I didn't have a rooted phone, I was limited by the Fox key. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I figured, even though it said motorcycle, I know you meant moto. And a G5 Plus is a pretty dope device. It's one I was considering getting for Boost Mobile too, just for the fact that it can run on Boost Mobile. By the way, if you guys play like any games on your Android device that you think is a pretty dope game, let me know, because on my second channel for my gaming channel, I have to try different games too. I mean, currently right now I'm like really stuck on playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and on top of that I'm playing Brave Frontier. But there's any other games I should check out, definitely I would like to start a series on there, just trying out new games that are recommended by you guys. So the link will be in the description for the second channel for anyone that's interested in checking that out. It's just mostly all about gaming. It's really what it is, and even talking about some of the classic games like from the 8-bit era, 16-bit era, 64-bit era. So G5 Plus is awesome fun. Loved it because I can use any carrier. Yeah. The G5, I think, will go down as one of the top phones in my book. Today is my Sunday. Tomorrow I return back to work. I think later on this year I'm going to take a trip to the Googleplex. I've been wanting to do that. So I've been saving up to go and take a vacation out there. When I do, I'll live stream, but it's not going to be probably till the end of this year. I think Sprint can make a comeback with 5G if they're really ready. Yeah. I just hope that they're not rushing it. G5 Plus is awesome. Yeah. Let's see. Rules of Survival is new release game. Is it clone of Fortnite? Oh, okay. I will definitely check that game out. All right, y'all got errands to run. It's first. Yep. All right. Chad Ferguson, thanks for chilling with us here. I really appreciate it, man. And yeah, just enjoy the rest of your day, bro. Moto G6 would be, yeah, that's gonna be interesting because I know they're already on the eve of the Moto E5 launching. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Hopefully, it's usable on Project Fi like the Moto X4. I mean, we'll see. I know that the Moto X4, the Android One version, is usable on Project Fi. Oh, I got one. It's animation. Throw down the quest for cards. Okay. How am I liking the Moto X4? It's solid. It's a solid phone. Um, I think just about like everything about it has run pretty flawless. Like I'll be totally honest with everybody. I wasn't expecting it to be the way that it is. Like I was expecting, like because it is, it is the less device that you can get on Project Fi. I was thinking like, okay, it's because it's not a flagship. The Moto X series now is not a flagship. The Z series is, I believe. So I was expecting it to just run the same as it runs with my mid rangers, and it surprisingly enough, it runs like a champ. I'm thoroughly impressed with it. I think my only gripe about the phone is that because it's all glass, really with metal rails on the side, it's very slippery. I actually like Sprint. I only had problems in the hardcore country areas most of the time. I had no data, which is okay as long as I can make calls for help in case. Yeah, they just need to patch up some of the areas in California. Yes, yes, they do. They do. As a matter of fact, I believe the Los Angeles area is one of the areas that's targeted to get the 5G. I know they're going to be rolling out MIMO in those markets too as well, which is gearing up and setting up for 5G, which is supposed to enhance the LTE signals better. So here over the next 9 months or so, in those markets that were named to get 5G, you should start experiencing faster speeds. Do I think it compares well with my Honor 8? Yeah, I really do. As a matter of fact, that's an idea that I wanted to kind of put together. It's just kind of compare the X4 to the Honor 8. Just kind of like let you guys know how well the Moto X4 Android One does. It's pretty solid. I haven't had any complaints at all. Like I've been trying to fault that phone and find something to be annoyed about, and I don't find anything really that I can literally just be aggravated with. The cameras work really good. They work really good. I'm impressed with the cameras for what it can do. Um, I haven't experienced any lag at all whatsoever. I play games on it a lot. The battery life is consistent, even though it's like a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. I do have to charge it by the end of the day, but I get a pretty solid day of battery life. So I'm not, too discouraged about it since I'm spoiled to bigger batteries and getting like 2 days on a single charge. I had no problems to complain about that. The build quality to me is actually pretty good. And then running everyday tasks, apps that on some of my other phones run sluggish, run really smooth on there. Like my application that I check, pay stubs and stuff like that, it's pretty heavy intense and it's sluggish on other devices that I have. And on this phone, it's just smooth switching between screens and reading all my information on there. Anaheim is slow with boost, but it it was near Disneyland and hella packed during Thanksgiving. Even my Verizon was slow. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Too many people. Yeah, yeah. If you're thinking about trying Project Fi, and you don't want to be able to, like, because I know with Project Fi you can buy one. You can buy one of their phones under installments. Like I think I could have went with the Pixel 2 and got it on installments for like $20 a month, but I wasn't sure how long I was going to stay with Project Fi, so I wanted something that wasn't going to be so much because I am paying installments on my Moto X4, paying $10 a month, like 1083 a month for 24 months. But soon I'm just going to completely like pay it off and fully outright own it. Do you use a launcher on your X Charge? No, I don't like using third party launchers. I just don't need something additional to suck up more RAM on a phone that's already got a launcher on it. Like I tend to use um, just whatever comes with it. Unless I really want to have like a different look, then I will run the rootless Pixel 2 launcher. So it's like if it's not the stock launcher, it's going to be Google's launcher. But I don't use anything else like Nova or anything like that. I know like they have like a massive amount of customizations for their stuff. If I had if I had to pick a launcher that I would want to use, there's one called Flow Home. I don't know if it's still in beta, but I would use Flow Home just because it has a completely different look. I mean, it's nothing that would resemble Android in any way. So if you guys never heard of that launcher, check it out in the Google Play Store. I'm actually getting better LTE speeds in my house with Sprint than other carriers, but other than that, it's slow and service cuts out completely in my Walmart. Yeah, they don't have the better bandwidth to withstand building penetration, especially with buildings that have like steel beams that could reflect or even interfere with signal connectivity. I know Sprint paid the price with not investing into their network. Like they were so hell bent on merging with a company or selling out to another company. And so now that none of the deals went through, now they're going to dump their $8 billion into their network and start rolling that stuff out, which is pretty stupid. They should have did that from jump. Which is what these types of decisions is what put Sprint in fourth place. This is why they they have a hard time coming out of things, is because they're looking to sell, they're looking to get rid of, and nobody wants to really merge with them at the end of the day. Or companies that do want to merge with them, deals don't fall through. Like the most recent one, I get asked all the time, like, they were so close to merging with T-Mobile. What happened? And originally what happened is that T-Mobile was going to take over, Sprint and run them as two different companies. However, with the merger deal, T-Mobile's idea was that Masayoshi-san would have no say in what was to go on with Sprint, which obviously they wanted to partner up with a company that was doing successful, because that's a smart business move, and to help make your company successful, but they weren't wanting to give up full control and have no say as to what goes on in Sprint. So therefore the deal fell through. I like Nova Launcher. I have the Prime one. Cool. I mean, yeah, launchers are cool. Everyone has their preference and what type of launchers they use. I just use plain stuff, I guess. But yeah, that's why it fell through. So I mean, Sprint's made some very bad decisions in 6 years. They made some very bad decisions. So hopefully they're going to start thinking smarter and do things better. So now that they're investing their money into their network now, they're going to roll out MIMO for, the 5 markets that they intend to launch 5G first in 2019. And the fact that they're now going to bring out, VoLTE basically across, their entire markets come the end of this year is really going to help them out. Just downloaded Flow Home. Looks interesting. Yeah, Flow Home is really crazy. It's real weird how it works, because it kind of just like it, to me, it almost feels like a combination of Sense with Windows. If you kind of get what I'm saying, like you swipe to the right, you have all your applications. Your main feed has like your social network feed, so like Twitter, Facebook, and all that. You can sign into that, and then it'll all appear as cards on the main screen. So the launcher has a very different view. It's more of keeping you in touch with your social media without you having to actually go into those applications. I don't like the LG Stop Axe looks. I like the circle ones on Moto. Yeah. And then even with that too, one thing I failed to mention about the Moto X4 that I thought was like pretty cool was the ability to have the in-video play. So like I could be watching a YouTube video, close out of YouTube, but the video will remain in a small window on the screen, and I could be in another app, and I can watch the video and be in another app and move it around. It's a floating widget screen. It's really cool. I like that. I see Sprint as a good carrier every time I've had problems. Just went onto the store and they helped out, or the chat option on the app. Yeah, um, I'll be honest. Like, one of the major problems Sprint has is its customer service. Um, that's being honest. I'm not gonna lie. There's store reps. You got to really be careful with them. I mean, if you have a good store that the people there are good, they're not shady and everything like that, you are blessed to know those people in that store, and that should be a store that you should do your dealings with. Because there are some stores that are only hell bent on making their commission, and they will screw you if you don't pay attention. And that's just me putting it lightly. Is 5G going to make GSM and CDMA obsolete? Yes, that's the entire goal for 5G moving forward. It is to make it to where we're not going to have different sides. We're not going to have GSM, CDMA dependency anymore. We're going to have a completely different thing. So this should open doors for Sprint, Verizon, and them to really be able to utilize unlocked devices. That's my fingers crossed for. Tired of these two different sides and whatnot. Because I like Boost Mobile service. I like Sprint service. It works great for me. The only thing that I ever really have to complain about them is the fact of the lack of support for unlocked devices. And for those that are just curious as to what I'm saying about Sprint store reps, it's stuff that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. I mean, there's, I got to break the bad news to people that when they broke their phone and they went into a Sprint store for help, and then they walked out the same day with a phone, they're happy because they got that phone. It's on their phone line. They're using it. What they didn't know what the Sprint store rep did, or what they didn't disclose to the customer, is that they added a line to the account, and then they did an equipment flip-flop on the account, putting the phone on the customer's original phone line. So that customer now has an additional line on their account with the broken phone serial number attached to it. And now they're paying an additional amount per month. So not only are they leasing a new phone and making payments on that, which hiked their bill up, by let's say $40 more, but then now they're paying an additional $30 more for the services on that line, because most of the shared plans, the additional lines, are about $30. So they just basically added almost $100 to the customer's bill per month. And then that's where I come in to have to not only explain that, but find a way to fix it so the customer does not cancel all their lines. I feel like I tried to order upgrade 7 times and they entered the card wrong, and I finally got the phone with someone in the US and it went smooth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about the customer service base, is that, one, it's outsourced, which I don't have a problem with it, because my dad was military, so I moved around places. So maybe for me, because I grew up in that environment, I can understand people with thick, heavy accents when they speak English, but other people don't have that patience for that. So the customer service is where, that's why I say that it's not even mediocre. Like, they really got to put a handle on it, because that is the number one complaint that Sprint customers have when they leave, is that customer service sucks. I think when you call the Boost Mobile number, the option to talk to a human is hidden. Last 2 customer service representatives was nice to me. Yeah. The reason for that is that there's a lot of things that you have access to. And Sprint is really trying to push for self-service options. I mean, that's one of the things that, that in customer care, they're supposed to be saying, at the end of the call. So like when they resolve the customer's issue, they get that taken care of. One of the things that they're supposed to be doing is to mention the self-service options that you have, because some of the things that customers call in about, they can literally solve on their own just by logging into their My Sprint account, or for Boost Mobile, they log into my Boost Mobile account, and they can get those things resolved, believe it or not. So that they push a lot of self-service, even like change of ownership and things like that. They try to have that done as a self-service option, where a customer can basically take the reins and be in control of it. So that way it minimizes the need for them to always have to call in. But, most people don't want to do things like that. Like, especially in this day, they don't feel like they should have to go and log into their account to check their bill and make their bill payment. So they'll call in and argue with us about their bill because they haven't checked their bill in like 6 months, and they see a charge on there that they're not familiar with. And it's like, yes, there's a charge on there you're not familiar with, and so we have to take care of it and fix it too. but also, you should be looking at your bill every month to know what you're paying for. Even when you like take advantage of the auto pay to get the discounts on your plan, you should still always check your bill. Metro is cringy. They act so happy. I mean, they're trying, I shouldn't have to trick the phone into allowing me to. Yeah, I know what you're saying. The whole interaction virtual response machine, the IVR, is just crap. They should just make it where it's like either you can deal with the IVR or you can deal with the live rep. But I get what you're saying, because there's a lot of options, like press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for this. But I think from what I'm told, I don't know if they changed the IVR, but I think when you call into the customer care 1-800 number, it's option 5 and then option 5. That's what I'm told. I don't know if it's still the same, because they'll always be changing the little options in the IVR. But the last that I remember, the fastest way to get to a live person is call into to the Sprint customer care number, hit option 5, and then hit option 5 again, and they'll get you customer care rep. Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, so those gaming suggestions I'm going to take into consideration, and probably going to check them out later on today, and probably do a little video about them. I've just been recording gameplay and uploading it to that channel. I did one. I have a series on there that I'm slowly working into. It's called The Classics. And my very first video, I did it about a game called Mystic Defender or Spellcaster for Sega. And just kind of did a little bit of, just reminiscing about it. It's a pretty long video because there's a lot to cover in these games. I don't like to just make a short 3-minute video. I'll cover everything that I know about the game that I think is very interesting. And I'm going to be gearing up for another episode here soon. So I'm going to put that one into effect. I don't know exactly. Maybe I might go Mario. That seems a little too cliche. I'm thinking about going Star Fox, though. Thinking about reminiscing over Star Fox. Or if not that, The Legend of Zelda. Because that is a timeless classic. The Legend of Zelda and all its incarnations is just amazing. It's an amazing story. So I don't know. I'm kind of caught in the fence. I do Star Fox. I can do Mario. I can do Zelda. Or I'm thinking about going a little bit more radical and going to the days of Street Fighter. Street Fighter and Street Fighter 2. So I don't know if you guys remember the very original Street Fighter. That game was it was cool when I was a kid. When I play it now, it's just so cringy. Because you only can play as 2 characters. If you're player 1, you're Ryu. If you're player 2, you're Ken. And the gameplay, the controls were just so massively hard, and fighting Sagat was just so stressful. But try Critical Ops, my favorite. It's free. Loot boxes, clones of Counter-Strike. Okay. Yeah, but that's the same with all carriers. Sprint has areas where it's not going to have the best service. T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, they all have it. It's just what works good in your place. You gotta know. Ultimately, when you move, that's the first thing that you should be looking into. If you're someone that uses their smartphone a lot, you gotta look into what provider works best in your area. That's going to tell you which provider that you should go with. At the end of the day, I'm open and front with customers who have very bad signal with Sprint, and when I can check their area and literally see that they have no towers in their area, then I would definitely recommend an out of coverage cancellation to wipe out all their debts and everything. As long as they send back the phones, that's one option that they have that helps them out, and it allows them to go with a carrier that's going to service them better than what Sprint can in that area. I know parts of Las Vegas has barely any coverage from Sprint. And then going way up north, like in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, there's no coverage at all whatsoever in those areas from Sprint. You have all weapons from the start. You don't have to pay for anything. Okay, I'll check that out. Um, definitely worth looking into. Yeah. So with that second channel, by the way, guys, I will live stream on there quite a bit while I'm playing games. So if you guys want more live broadcasting, it's going to be over there just because I'll be like gaming and whatnot. I haven't set up any type of like gaming for like, to live broadcast while playing the Switch. I'm going to slowly start building out something for that. So then when I play games on the Nintendo Switch, I can live broadcast too. I only got 2 games right now for it. It's actually not mine, but I get to use it. But I have a Mario Odyssey, and then I think it's Mario Kart 8. I have those 2 games. So I haven't started a full collection for Nintendo Switch games yet. But one game I'm interested in getting is Street Fighter 2. I think it's the anniversary edition that they have for the Switch. I was kind of shocked to see that they actually brought that game on there. Oh, I don't have an account on the Switch set up yet. Like I said, it's not technically my Switch. It's my fiance's. It's hers. I haven't made one yet, but when I do, I'll definitely let you know what my friend code is. I'm still learning stuff about the Nintendo Switch, but it's so far it is everything that everyone's reviewed about the Nintendo Switch. I mean, it's portable, and you can also dock it and play it on your TV. So I mean, that's like the best of both worlds. I think that's a really badass concept. Like I've seen so many reviews and I've heard some people talk about the Switch and how good it is, and I'm going off what everyone says, but now actually being able to hold one in my hand and actually play it, the experience, yeah, definitely that's like a big up on Nintendo. So I'm kind of glad that we got one. We picked it up, and I almost did something stupid. I'll admit something that I did dumb. You guys can laugh at this, but when we went to go buy the Switch, I was thinking like every accessory was sold separately, right? So I was thinking like the actual console itself was separate and that the dock was separate. And I almost ended up buying another dock. And because of that, I just felt really dumb because I was like, we have to get another dock. We have to get a dock for it so you can dock it to the TV and play. She was like, I think it comes with it. I'm like, no, I think they come separately. I think you just get like the portable console. So I trusted her because she was like, well, if we have to buy one, we'll buy one later. I was like, okay. We come home, we unbox it, and I felt stupid. I opened the box and I seen like, okay, it does come with the dock. So I was like, I'm more of an idiot than anything. When I think about the iPhone for $179, the iPhone 6, why not? I mean, if you're someone that really wants to use an iPhone, the 6 ain't bad. I mean, yeah, it's the hardware is pretty outdated. But I mean, if there's something you want to go for, might as well, right? $179 for it. They can still price gouge it. Flagships rarely reduce to that kind of pricing. I think like right now the Galaxy S6 goes for like 199, I want to say. So yeah. I mean, if you wanted to go for it, why not? If you can find it cheaper, I'd definitely say look a little bit more before you settle on that. But get Payday 2 and Kirby if you get an account. I'll play co-op with you. Cool. All right. What's my project find number? You said in the video your fans can. Oh, okay. So my project find number is. That's my project find number. Rocket League is awesome too for only $20. Nice. So I'll definitely check it out. There's another one. There's a game that I'm really interested in playing on the Switch. I think I'm going to probably buy it next week. I forgot the name of it. But think it's called Arms, if I'm not mistaken. It's the one where you have those characters with the little spirally, squiggly arms, and you attack. That game. I want to try that one. But there's a lot of stuff with the Switch you can do. Like, I mean, I've seen demos, and it's so different from seeing demos of what the Switch can do and actually being able to see, like physically see what you can do with the Switch. And so some of those games are the ones I'm going to be interested in playing. Hey, Isaac, what's up, man? What's going on? So yeah, that's what I am intending to do more with the Switch. Which phone has the best camera? What do you mean? Out of what phones? Give me some phones. Like, name some, and I'll tell you what my opinion is. Oh, you don't recommend Arms at full price? It gets boring fast and only 2 buttons for attack. No real combos. Oh. Interesting. Samsung Galaxies. Okay. Samsung Galaxy device with the best camera right now is going to be the S9. The S9 and its ability to switch between 2 different apertures is going to make for some really good photography. I need to get a new chair. I actually been in the market for looking for a new computer desk. This old antique Victorian style white desk that I have that's like pretty beat up that you guys probably seen in videos. I'm probably going to sand it down and repaint it. I've been saying this for a whole year and I just haven't done it. But I'm actually going to give it to my kids to use for like their homework, to put like their stuff in their desk. So I'm going to get a different like computer stand and whatnot. I moved everything out into kind of like my living room, dining room area, you know, just has better lighting. And 2, you know, if everyone needs to get up on there and get on the computer, they can. HTC One A9 for $99 versus Galaxy S7 Edge pre-owned for $199. Well, I mean, the HTC One A9 is not something that I would say would be something that would I would say would be better than a GS7. But then again, it's price difference there too. Arms story has no depth. It's like classic Street Fighter. Arms is mostly for online fights. Single player alone, not that fun. Oh, gotcha. Well, I mean, everyone, you know, here, like my kids, you know, they play when they do good. Like if they do good in school, and if they, you know, don't have any issues or whatever, I'll let them play some games for a little bit. Like I use games and you know, smartphone games as a reward for them. I don't let them actually just play on it to pass the times because I don't want them getting like too addicted to smartphones and technology and crap like that. So that's just the way that I run things around here. But yeah, I get what you're saying though. Arms doesn't have that type of it doesn't have like any type of like story mode that can get you immersed into the game. So I get what you're saying. But yeah, you know, if you want a Galaxy S7 Edge, going back to Hugo, if you want a Galaxy S7 Edge for like $200, probably go for it. The HTC One A9, it to me, I really haven't played around with the phone yet, so I'll let you know once I have that phone in hand and exactly like what it can do. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to make any judgments right now, but I mean, they're both pretty good deals. I mean, to get an S7 Edge pre-owned for $200, because Galaxy devices, well, Galaxy flagships, their fair market value reduces in time, but it doesn't drop dramatically like other phones will. Like you'll buy, say, like take one for example. Well, let's say like the Galaxy J7 Perks, right? Like say when it first came out, it was like $200. It's, you know, right now you can probably find it decent price, maybe like, you know, half of that amount. The family's doing good. The family's doing great. Kiddos are in school. Everyone's about to wake up soon here in the next 5 minutes. So what phone are you using as carrier? So I'm using 2 phones. I have my Moto E4 Plus on Boost Mobile. That's what I'm using currently right now until my HTC One A9 arrives. And then on Project Fi, I'm using the Moto X4. And then on Freedom Pop, I'm using the Honor 8 and the Nextbit Robin. I still have my my Freedom Pop family plan, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's the free plan, but it's not free because you got to pay like a $10 charge. So technically, you're paying $10 a month for it, but it's 2 lines, unlimited talk, text, 1 gigabyte of data shared. So it's very basic. I'm just paying $10 for the 1 gig, basically. Oh yeah, I'll definitely let them know you said hello. But yeah, so using 4 phones, but the major 2 that I carry on me all the time is the X4 and the E4. They're also doing a volume 2, but for the X version of Mega Man. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. It's 10 games for $40. Mega Man is one game that, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with everybody. I wasn't really into the original Mega Man series. Like, I played them. I didn't get fully immersed into the story until Mega Man X came out, where they actually gave like a real in-depth story to it. And then from then on out, I've been playing like the Mega Man X series, and then the spin-off Mega Man Z, which basically was Zero's story. So I don't know, maybe Mega Man. I might do it on that. I don't know. I'll probably like put a bunch of stuff in like a fishbowl and then dig in there and pick out one of the games. Probably do it like that. For the other channel. My son should be waking up here soon. Well, I mean, yeah, they're bringing all the X games on the Switch for $40. Wow, that's something I'm gonna have to go grab. I like the Mega Man X series. I think of all of them, my favorite would be Mega Man X3. I'll probably like make a video about why it is. Do apps slow the battery on my phone? Like, what do you mean slow? Do you mean do they eat up the battery on my phone? For the E4 Plus, not really. The E4 has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and that battery actually holds true. So on light usage, I get 4 days. And when I mean light usage is because, you know, when I go to work, I'm rarely on my phone. So I can get like basically over the weekend, my phone will last me an entire weekend. Like, so like Friday, I'll take it off the charger. I'll put it back on the charger Monday night. When I'm actually using the phone, I get about a day and a half, 2 days. So that's pretty much what I get on the X4. I get an entire day. There's no pushing, you know, beyond that because I'm mostly using on that phone. Since I've been playing, since I got it, I've been using the X4 more and just playing around on it more. So, oh yeah, I found $1 in my pocket. Alarm's going off right now. I have a 64 gigabyte iPhone SE, which is my first ever iPhone because I've always had Android and decided to try iOS, but I found iOS boring. No offense to people who like iOS. I'm considering what I asked earlier. Oh, I see. My first one was X4 on PS1. I bought it for $10 new at Blockbuster. I like, oh my gosh, man, Blockbuster. You guys remember having to go to Blockbuster and rent a video game? And it was so annoying too, because when it was a brand new game that just came out and you were so super stoked to get it, there was always that one kid whose parents would like take him to Blockbuster that day the game came out. So when you go to try and rent it, it's not available. Like every copy they had is rented out. And then you try to go and check back 3 days later, hoping that one of those kids didn't have enough money to rent it longer. And they extended their rental time and paid. It was so annoying. It pissed me off a lot. It did. I think the very first time I tried to rent a game from Blockbuster was Street Fighter II Championship Edition, and for Super Nintendo. And I was so pissed because for 3 months that game was not available to rent at Blockbuster. You only get a day on your E4 Plus? Wow. You're probably more of a power user than I am. So you probably like use your phone for like everything, including entertainment, and probably kill your battery off quicker that way. Plus, too, it also depends on what settings you have open. Like I tell people with my Android smartphones, because I don't need everything synced, I have auto sync turned off. So my apps are not constantly syncing, because every time I open the app, it syncs up the information to catch up to where I need to be at, like say on Facebook or on Google Plus, that I don't need it constantly syncing to where when I open it, it's right at the latest post or something. Plus, Facebook is so massacred. Like your first post that you see when you open it with auto sync turned on could be a post from your friend from like 4 days ago. It's like there's no chronological time setting really, but you have to go there and configure that, I believe. But I'm not one to like really care about that kind of stuff. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna call it a day. So thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching the broadcast. For those guys that jumped in halfway through, if you want to catch the very beginning, you guys can rewatch it. I really appreciate all you guys for hanging out and just kind of like talking a little bit. And yeah, so today's gonna be a pretty good day. I found $1 in my pocket. It's just kind of weird. I don't know if you guys ever did that. You put on shorts that you haven't worn in like a couple of weeks. You stick your hand in there, you feel something, and you pull out $1. That's kind of, that was so totally random. Anyways, guys, yeah, so link in the description for my second channel if you guys want to go check that out. You guys want to see some of the gaming I've done on there. I have the chat logs here, so I will take some of those considerations you guys told me to check out for those games. I'll check those games out and probably do like a gameplay review, like the Hollywood Video Store with the game store inside together. Yeah, where I lived at, we never had a Hollywood Video though. Because like I grew up mostly in the Pacific region, because my dad was in the military. So I've been to places like the Philippines, Guam, Hawaii. So, and some of those places, they didn't have Hollywood Video stores. Well, especially in Guam. Guam didn't have any. But all right, everybody, I gotta go. I will talk to you guys later. You guys follow me on Instagram, and yeah, see you guys next time.